Happy Tuesday. Let's talk about getting team member buy-in. So I think all good buy-in from my 17,000 hours of experience working with agents here is based on active listening, right? And we've talked about in other sessions on aligning our value proposition with our onboarding. And buy-in really comes from cultural alignment, right? When people are in alignment with your mission, your vision, your values, it's clear how you live these values each day. That is the essence of getting team member buy-in, right? So if you're really clear on what somebody wants when they join your team, and you're able to provide them those things that they want because the recruiting and the value proposition are in perpendicular alignment, you start to get buy-in. Now, how do you not get buy-in, right? There's the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin of not getting buy-in is when you see somebody and you fall in love with their potential. You have these ideas, they have a database, but in essence, they're not there for any of the things that you offer. But you have this idea that they're going to be able to bring all this business to your team. And actually, it's not that they don't even buy in, they get other people to buy out, right? So it's not perpendicular alignment. So, if you don't know who you're looking for, you'll end up with anyone. And in team building, that is a very scary equation. Yvette, how are you? You got to mute yourself.
Good, how are you? Am I the only
Doing
one on the call?
It's me and you.
Okay, so this is that line item for the mesh
Because there
net.
were people on earlier.
It only had that one post. It didn't have like the three,
Who else was on earlier?
Robin was on.
it didn't have, I want
There
to
were a few
say
people on.
these three here. I think it's just like one post one
Interesting.
post mesh, and it's activate.
So,
Because
So
you're at
in
went
retreat, right?
ahead and kind
Yeah, I'm
of
at retreat. So I'm
went
gonna I'm
through
gonna
that
make this
space.
short and then just give everyone a
And
bonus
so that's
session for
that
the live
line item for
Q&A.
the mesh
Because
wire
team
Okay.
member
and the
buy-in
post.
is more of a
We
group
added
discussion than
additional
it is like
pieces
an
of
actual.
lumber,
What is
cross
that
member,
noise?
top, center, and bottom. And then
Oh,
that
I'm
top
sorry. Hold on. Give me
center.
a second. Hold on.
And
Okay, sorry. I just
So
realized I had
for
something else
everyone
playing in the
watching the
background.
recording, we'll just do a bonus 30-minute live Q&A because the team member buy-in session, this is a culmination of our recruiting session, our value proposition, having people actually talk about people who bought in and bought out and looking at those patterns. And it's kind of like a aha group moment realization, but if there's only the two of us, we can't do that. So my question is since you did show up, do you have any particular needs in your business that I can help you with?
I mean, right now I'm still trying to piece it all together. So I played with ChatGPT last week and kind of put in my thoughts, my philosophy on everything that I wanted and what I want my team to be centered around. And it came back with a fantastic playbook. I was really happy about that. So I'm just trying to start to build it and like decide what it is exactly that, what type of team member that I'm looking for, who's going to mesh well with me and the value, my value proposition and what I want to present to our clients. What kind of clients do we want and things like that. So, I'm just
So what
I'm
you
just
need
still trying to like piece it all together. I kind of got upset with ChatGPT last week because it was like, I'm gonna send you something, and then it never sent me anything. So it
You
was
did
like,
not. You did
okay.
a horrible job, right? So when you think about recruiting and buy-in, John, and everything else, and today will be more of like a personal Q&A, so you can ask me any questions you have, because this session is designed for a group interactive exercise, but I think a lot of people are at
Mhm.
retreat. So look, number one thing you need to do before you even identify who you want is actually identify who you don't want, right? Like what people that are looking for blank, blank, and blank are bad people. So if you fed this into ChatGPT, right, you could say, I need you now to look at all of my blind spots and give me a written description for red flags of people that would not be in alignment. Like I need to understand people's psychology, their behaviors, their wants, their needs, their desires. And when you start seeing all of this information, it becomes something very, very different.
Yeah.
You have any questions about your team?
Um,
You have any
so
other
like I
questions?
said, No, no, it's just like right now, like I said, I have that one person and I'm looking to see, like I spoke to like I had my second quarter business planning meeting last week and he's like, are you planning on expanding? I'm like, yeah, I just need to find the right team members. And so he's like, well, you tell me what exactly you want as far as a team and I'll see if I can match you with somebody. You know, he's like my sales manager said I can give me a second, Sherrod, because I just lost my train of thought. It's kind of like a crazy morning. So he said to go ahead and do that, and that's what I'm looking at is, you know, he's gonna help me build it. So yeah. Sorry, I know I seem like I'm all over the place.
Really. Um,
Yeah.
Look, I think you just need to start, right? And even when you feel stuck, um, start going to ChatGPT and say, I feel stuck and here's my goal. Now ask me questions one by one so you can help me.
Yeah. And I did that. Like I must have spent like a good 2 hours just like playing with it and like I uploaded several like I took I did what was it, the five dysfunctions of a team and all of that stuff, the five types of geniuses from Patrick Lencioni, and I put that profile up there and a couple of other profiles that I had done, business profiles, and I said, okay, use that, ask me questions on you know what I want my team to be centered on, and it did a pretty good job. Like I think that's the first time when I used ChatGPT that it actually gave me like a big cohesive plan and, you know, okay, 90 days out, this is what you're going to do and things like that. I thought that was fantastic, and I learned that from you from the whole playbook thing. So I was like, all right, I'm kind of getting around this chat, you know, starting to learn that. So um so that I thought that was interesting the way it did that. So
Yeah, and the more you use it, the easier it gets.
yeah. Absolutely. I see we have somebody else jumped on the call.
John,
Hello.
how are you? So, what can we do to help you with your business?
Well, that's a loaded question. Um, for us, I think it's really, because Gary was out of country actually for almost a month. So, and it was right after you kicked off. So we got to sit down and kind of go through these training sessions together, and just spend the time to put pen to paper, and incorporate ChatGTP and start the process. So I've been kind of data mining at this point, and then of course he's back now, but he's playing catch up, and we're at this phase right now in our local market where there's just a ton of inventory coming out. So we've got all kinds of listing appointments and all that kind of stuff. So we're a little, under the weather of a lot to do. So we need to carve out the time and put some focus into getting, some activity going in this direction. We are picking up 2 team members, which is rare in terms of, we're in a small market, like I've mentioned before. So we have 2 new team members coming on this week and next week. And so we are employing what we've learned, so far in the course, and when we interviewed them and the stuff that we did in those sessions, and then also how we're onboarding them. So we'll be, it'll be nice to have 2 new agents on the team that are going to be embracing the technology and the offerings that we have. We still have to go by and each, team member we have now and individually sit down with them and go through those questions that you have. So for us, it's um, we're gearing up to do those things, but we got to spend the time up front to really make sure we do that right. You know, so
Look,
what you could do to help me, if you could make more time in the day.
well, first write down on a piece of paper what they do today they could have paid somebody else to do, and that's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
100%.
I think
Writing it down.
that's where all good things start. Because we all need to be clear first on what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Mhm.
And from there, then we can get somewhere.
Yeah, like when I first started, like I always been one of these agents that I didn't want a team, I didn't want a team, I didn't want a team. And then I brought on somebody who wanted to join Compass, but she couldn't find the right fit for a team. And she used to work with me before. And I know we've had this discussion. And I said, all right. But then now that I have the team, I'm like, all right, so I have the team, I might as well capitalize on the potential of it and try to bring some other like-minded agents on board with me. And at the beginning, I had no way to like I'm still struggling with the structure, like how do I want it to be? But like I said, it's every week it gets a little bit better as far as, coming online here, listening to you guys, and just I guess visualizing and envisioning exactly what I want the end result of the team to be. So like I'm actually now um a little bit more organized, not as and I'm very organized. I'm a engine like one of my traits is like an engineer, so I have to have things a certain way, and the fact that I don't have it like that yet is kind of driving me crazy. And as far as my energy, I love starting projects and I love finishing projects. It's the middle part where I get um stuck in, and I guess that's where I'm at now. So I'm like, all right, just need to trudge through this so that I can have my end results and build a team. I don't want a huge mega team. I want something small, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So
Yeah,
it's
start
scary, I'm
small
not gonna lie.
and you should try to stay lean, right?
Yeah,
Like staying lean is a huge goal.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny because at my previous brokerage, it was a boutique brokerage, and she has like 100 agents on her roster and maybe 10 agents that produce. And I was like her top producing agent. I'm like, I rather have 10 good agents that produce than to have 100 agents on my roster that are gonna possibly cause me issues with, errors in emission or some kind of issue because it happens. And then, um, and that was always a conflicting viewpoint that I had with my previous brokers. She wanted all these agents on her roster, and I'm like, what for? They're not producing.
For your ego.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep, that's generally
I
why
guess.
people feel I call them phantom agents, right? Because they're not really agents.
Yeah. Yeah, ghost agents. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Did she own her own brokerage? I mean, her own escrow?
Um, yeah, yeah.
That might be a reason as well.
I don't know. I mean, and this was an elementary school friend of mine. Like I've known her forever. And when I left, she was like, please don't tell anybody else you're leaving. And I'm like, why? Because I'm gonna lose agents. I'm like, that's not a good sign. But it's like it's just like I needed to grow. I needed something different. And yeah. So that's an example of what I don't want as far as a team is I don't want something like that. I want
So
people
then
that are
the
gonna
first,
contribute.
so what that means in like real world is like I need but production minimums,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Are you in a bigger market or what market are you in, Yvette?
I'm in Central Florida.
Okay, so you got a big market.
Yeah.
So be very choosy on who you bring on board.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Everyone has some action items. Take this time back in your calendar. Start working on some of the things. Do not take the next 13 minutes and just go back into the black hole of your emails and things to do. Start working through it, right? And look, the amazing thing about AI is like the more you put in it, like the more it knows you. So just say, I'm looking to start doing this. I'm going through a coaching program. I feel stuck because ask me questions one by one to create clarity and focus and direction for me. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I will tack on a bonus session and when the whole gang can be here, and we'll keep on keeping on.
All right.
And I
Thank
think
you.
people are missing because last week it kind of sounded like the meeting wasn't happening this week. Like there was the Compass event and that people were going to be going to that. So
Yep.
I actually just checked the calendar randomly because I got off a phone call. I'm like, oh, we are having a session today. I was of the mindset it wasn't happening.
Yep. No, we can't cancel the sessions, but some people still log in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.